Hello CEL adventurers. I'm going to take this opportunity to remind you of what is going on this week. So let's go ahead and go to modules and sing the Jeopardy song. Oh, no, there we go. And we are working on first Adventure 3. Notice that this week, September 17 through 23, we are working on this discussion, Online Learning Community, September 17 through 23. Let's go ahead and open that up. All right, let's go to that activity. One of the things that I want you to know, though it tells you that you need to post and discuss, that is one option for you this week. Remember that you can open up your reading. I like to open things up in another tab. And here it will also tell you that you have a choice this week. You can, 1, create a post to answer the questions as you've done for the last 2 discussions, or 2, you can attend our class meeting next Tuesday, September 24th, 6 to 7 p.m. and discuss this week's questions during that meeting, or you can do both. And just a kind of a metacognitive moment, I used to just do this purely as discussions, 3 weeks of discussions. And at some point, I started feeling that, week after week of discussion can feel a little bit stressful for some people, maybe not fully meet everyone's learning needs. It is a great strategy to use in an online course, the discussion forums, but I personally like to change things up a little bit. So I added a chat. And in these tools, there's often a chat tool. As you can see in this course, there is a chat tool. We could do a chat, but I find chats to be rather limiting, especially in the day and age when the technology is there for us to use that take the interactive experience to a higher, greater level by using something like Adobe Connect. So Adobe Connect has the ability for us to have some chats and to use the chats in a fun way, but it has other features as well, like the use of voice, the use of polls, the use of a variety of other things that can be done in Adobe Connect. So I decided, you know what, if we've got the good tool, we have access to such a good tool, we might as well use it as opposed to downgrading our experience. Let's upgrade our experience. So instead of just having a chat, I went ahead and just started, let's give you the option to connect as a class and have the Adobe Connect experience. So that's kind of the thinking that was behind adding this opportunity. The other thing that I find is some people will do both. Some people will create the post to form their thinking and to have something to draw upon, and I highly recommend that as an option. It can give you some things to draw from. When I ask you to put answers to a question in a chat, you can have some of those answers already thought out. Also, I find that some of my learners who have English as a second language often find greater success by doing both the post and the chat or synchronous meeting. So that's the thinking behind that particular activity that we are working on for this week. Let's go back to modules because we are also working on the group contract this week. So up to this point, all we've been focusing on related to the group work was getting your readings taken care of, reading the overview, the guide, these PDFs that I've provided you, and getting those groups formed. So that is a task in and of itself, believe me. One of the things that I need you to know is that as part of this message, I will be sending the list of groups so that you'll know what the groups look like, the names of the people in each group. Please let me know if you would like your group name changed, and I will also be looking at your documents to see what your group's names will be when you post your group contracts, so that can help me out as well. So it's kind of nice to have your group name noted in your group room. Anyway, so you'll be working on your group contract, and some things to note there is that you want to make sure that you have set up your profile properly. So remember that you click on your name in the upper right hand corner and you click Edit Profile, and you click Manage Registered Services. And here, one of the things you must make sure that you do so that everything's linked properly is that you register your Google Docs. So I'm going to go ahead, I unregistered it so I can show you what that looks like. So I'm going to go ahead and re-register it and authorize it. And it's going to want to allow access, and I'm going to say yes, go ahead, allow access, and then of course we'll probably have to sing the Jeopardy song. Maybe pause, I don't know. There we go. So now that service is listed in my registered services, which is important to make sure that things are tied in properly with your groups. The next thing to remember is you've got to go back to your course, and you want to make sure that you are working within your group. So remember that you go to People, and remember this looks a little different on your page than it does on mine. View User Groups, and I believe that your group lists show up in the middle as well as maybe on the side, but you need to, I believe yours is the one that shows up on your page. So I see all of them, you just see the one that you are in. So you click on your group and pretend that my group is ABC. And in here you have your own group's tools. And one of the really important tools is the collaborations, because this is where you can create a Google Doc that is shared by the people in your group. So one person can do this, come in here, give it a name, give it a description, and then add the people that you want in that group document, and then say start collaborating. And I'm not going to do that because this is somebody else's group. But just remember that this is the way that you create that Google Doc that I ask you in Group Contract. So if we look at Group Contract, it tells you, so you've already done the readings, hopefully you've already got your groups created, I've helped you with that process, and now these are the instructions to complete and submit your group contract. And so here, there's a group work form template that I've created for you to start from. Now, again, I never really know what you're seeing on your end, so if you see up here where it says file, edit, etc., sometimes one of the things that you can do is say make a copy. But because you're using the group work tool, what I ask you to do instead is I ask you to copy this table and paste it into your, and for me it's a Command C to copy and a Command V to paste. I'm not sure what it is for you, but you want to know your commands. You might even be able to use edit, copy, edit, paste. But you copy and paste that into your group's contract document. And then you start filling it in with your group name, the fun group, who knows what your group name is going to be, just you. And here you start filling in the information based on the instructions on the left. So you fill in the right based on the instructions on the left. I really would like to see your groups taking on these roles, making sure that all of these roles are somehow taken care of. Maybe some groups maybe have 3 people and one person may need to take a couple of roles, or everybody takes on a particular role. Maybe everybody can act as a connector, for example, because I think everyone should actually be thinking about that and connecting to the people in the group. So if someone is missing, and what if that someone was your connector, someone in the group should be connecting to the person and making sure that person is brought up to speed with what's going on in your group, etc. So they're just, again, you're not bound to this model, it's just an example, but these are some really good ideas to start from. Okay, so that's the group contract. You want to be working on that over the next week. I think I should probably, I'm going to see how it goes. If necessary, I'll give you a bit more time. I think you can do this in a week. I'd really like to get you moving on to your fun activity, but let me know how it goes. It could be that we need a little bit more time. Definitely give me some feedback about how this is working for you. And finally, I really want you to think about what it is that I hope for you to gain from this process. Of course, it's a great idea to get your group work done, the fun activity, the project later on, but for me, it really is about the process, and I really do want you to have some fun, great conversations about the activities. If you want to have conversations about what's going on in other activities, that's fine, but I really want you to increase the sense of social presence for yourselves in the class, have some conversations, learn about each other, learn about your group member strengths. You may even need to know about group member weaknesses so that you know how the best way that your group is going to be able to get things done. So remember that. The process is really important. And if at all humanly possible, I would like you to make sure that you meet synchronously, at least 30 minutes here and there. This is why we set up Skype, so that you could and also use the spreadsheet to share with each other times of availability, so that you have that opportunity to get some group work done using Skype and Google Docs. It is a far more efficient and timely way to get things done. I promise you, it is a far better experience to do some of your group work synchronously rather than doing everything asynchronously by just email or just discussion forum. I've done this for many, many years, and I've written articles about it and done research with my students. It is a far superior experience if you can include the element of synchronicity, the synchronous side of things. All right, so if your groups need help, make sure to let me know. You should have someone in your group whose role it is to communicate with me, but of course, at any point in time, any of you can communicate with me about your group work. Let's get this done. Have a great week, everyone.